Hi, my name is Drea Correa. I am the biological mother of one and stepmother of another. I'm a certified life coach, and today I'd like to talk to you about 7 steps to finding peace with having an only child. This is something that's very dear to me. I am the mother of a 5-year-old daughter. I also have a stepdaughter. She's 13 years older and I was a part of her life. But I had a very hard time with accepting only having one child, birthing only one child. And I really wanted more kids. And I was looking for resources on the internet and resources that could help me, and I've really found that it was lacking. It's been several years. I'm on the other side of that. And through that time, I've found a lot of healing and a lot of acceptance. So I wanted to share with anyone who might be in that same boat, who's looking for that peace and acceptance, to give them that. So I'm going to just kind of do an overview of the 7 steps. I think each one, this is not something that is, a linear healing process. It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that can really take some time and a lot of deep inner work. And so I'm going to give you an overview of the 7 steps, and then I may do videos dedicated to each step to kind of further go into each one, because there's a lot for each one. So the first is that I want you to challenge your ideas and perceptions about having an only child. This was something that I had some difficulty with, and there's a lot of social stigma around having an only child, and I think for myself personally, I felt like a little bit of a failure, or that perhaps I wasn't enough of a mom by societal standards by having only one child. And obviously also some guilt that I felt by not giving my my daughter a sibling that was closer to her in age. Again, I'll talk a little bit about my stepdaughter in another in another video, but she does have somebody in her life, which is fantastic. But she's much older. They're not growing up together. Also, my husband is an only child, so there are no cousins, and I have one brother who doesn't have any children yet. So she's kind of the baby in the family, and as somebody who came from a large family or extended family, I always found comfort in knowing that I had a lot of cousins and other people kind of outwardly. So I challenge you to kind of dig deep into that. In order to find some more peace with this, I started to look at Instagram profiles that were dedicated to having only children and really celebrating having an only child. I read a lot of articles about the social benefits, the social, economic, well-being benefits of being an only child, and what that meant for their social and emotional development. And that gave me a lot of reassurance, and just find ways that can really celebrate having that only child and the time that you're going to be able to spend with one child that you're dedicated to, rather than more. The second step is to forgive your partner or yourself. Now, for me personally, the reason that we didn't have any more children was because my husband was against having more children. It wasn't something that he could really see himself doing. Now, there's a lot more there, and I think I'll have to probably do another video just on that dynamic, because it certainly was a very large issue in our marriage. I want to say I'm on, like I said, the other side of that. My husband is a wonderful husband and father and very dedicated, and I have a lot of understanding for why he didn't want to have any more children. And so what I kept finding on the internet was people saying, looking for advice on how to convince their partners how to have another child, meeting resistance, and then like the spouse or the husband, eventually sort of acquiesces and gives in and has another child, or comes around to the idea and accepts it. This is not the case here. In my case, my husband definitely does not want any more children. My daughter's 5 years old. We're on the other side. So forgive your partner, or if it's some other reason, that you can't have children. Maybe you are trying to accept it because you know that you can't, in good faith, have another children and do it well, or and so you're really trying to come to terms with just having one child because of the societal reasons or otherwise other pressures. Or maybe there's, an issue with, not being able to have or bear children on either partner's side. So doing some deep forgiveness work, holding on to anger. They say that being angry is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And that feeling, that resentment can really eat you alive and can really affect your marriage, your relationships, and your overall well-being. So find forgiveness. Speak out loud the ways in which your partner, maybe their side of the story, or your own. Treat yourself. You have to kind of remove yourself out of it. Like if you were your own friend, what would you say in order to find forgiveness? The third, and this was one of the most profound, and it is a little heavy, so just kind of a warning, a little bit of a trigger warning here for the third step, and that is to mourn the death of the potential child. Now, this was something that was a painful process for me and can be a very painful process for you, but it's one that I found to be possibly the most transformational. I don't know about you, but for me, I know that wanting another child felt like this very primal, very, very big urge. It was I can only compare it to I felt like a knocking at my door, like a soul wanted to come through me, and that I was its gateway, and I was being called to him because I was very confident it was going to be a little boy, and he was very called to me to be his mother, and it was so loud. It was so loud. And I tried, to quiet it. And the only thing I could really come back to was really mourning their death. And one of the ways that I did this, and this is kind of plugs in to step 4, was meditation and visualization. I did a lot of meditation. I did a lot of visualization. For me, I am a very visual person, and I could really feel that little boy. And I would close my eyes, and often in a state of meditation or prayer, I could really see that little boy. I could see a little baby, and I would hold him in my arms, in my mind, in my mind. And I would hold him and spend time with him. And then I would give him back to angels. For me, the thing that resonated with me was angels, but it could be God, source, creator, angels, heaven, the other side, the other dimension, whatever it is that resonates with you. For me, I would spend time and tell him that I loved him, apologize, and say that I was sorry, but that he wasn't going to come through me, not through this life, and that I would see him on the other side, or that I hope that he found a way to get earthside, albeit not through me. And I would lovingly return him to the angels. And I would have conversation with him, with, I guess, angels, source, creator, in doing that. And I cried a lot in this process because it felt like I was giving back my baby. And there was a lot of emotions. Yeah, I get even emotional now thinking about it. And this isn't something that's linear. I can say that I feel very much on the other side of wanting another child. I'm at the point now where I don't really want to have another child, but it doesn't mean that it's not something that still, you know, can't affect me. And there were times that it was definitely not linear. I would feel better for a few days, and then I would kind of, you know, be in this sad, angry place again over not having a child. I know it was kind of obsessive for me for some time there. You know, I would, every month I would tell myself, oh, if I got pregnant next month, then I'll have the baby in, you know, in May, or it'll be a spring baby, or it'll be a Christmas baby, or it'll be so-and-so zodiac sign, you know, it'll be a Sagittarius, whatever it might be. There was all sorts of different things in my head that I was kind of planning out. And so you really have to mourn all, not just the child, but all of the ideas and all of the dreams that you had with including that child. Because I know I did that too. You know, for my daughter, Catalina, I imagined her having a little brother as I had. Something that I treasure very much in my upbringing. And now I wasn't going to have that for her. So I had already envisioned the relationship, her holding a baby in her arms, things of that nature. And so it was really a full breaking down and releasing of all of those dreams and all of those hopes and expectations. Even if they would have, you know, manifested in that way or not. We all have our ideas, and even having something ceremonial in a way, I mourning it, crying, burying it, and acknowledging that it's still there, that pain, but moving forward. And my next, the next step is to birth something else. So I find this very, very, very important, in that you want to birth something. You want to create something. You want another child because you want to create. You want to birth something new and beautiful and alive. And so for me, that was looking back into myself and asking what it is that I wanted to do. What was it, something that, what might you have been attracted to as a kid that as you've gotten older, you've let go of? You know, it's maybe creating something with your hands. For me, it was acting. For me, I had always been, I live in Los Angeles. I'd always been kind of surrounded by the acting industry, but I had never really had the guts to do anything about it. I had taken, you know, a class when I was 12 years old, but my insecurity and things got in my way. And so although I always felt called to not just acting, but speaking publicly, you know, being a communicator of sorts, I decided to sign up for an acting class, and I do it, and it's been 2 years, and I still take that class every week. And I got an agent, I go on commercial auditions, and I'm playing and I'm having fun, and it's something that I do for myself. And I would say that this is your opportunity, and life is asking you, if you're not going to have this other child, to birth something else, to find something, connect with your inner child, or that thing that you know that you liked, cooking, performance, knitting, whatever it might be, and create something. The sixth step is finding gratitude for what you have without pushing away, you know, kind of that ongoing or that intermittent, you know, longing. So find gratitude each day. You know, I've found gratitude work, which I know there's been a lot of talk about gratitude lately. It's kind of gotten a little shticky, and I get it. So, but the work is really powerful all the same. You know, what is it that you do have? And if you are like me, you know, have a single, you know, a child, or you have family, or you have running water and a house over your head and a blue sky or a sunny day, or whatever it might be, you know, it can be something big, it can be something little. For me, I know I cherish a lot of time with my daughter. She's a very hard person to parent, so I'm not saying that I'm feeling that all the time, but I know that holding her, loving her, and kind of really sitting in that gratitude of this moment is so important, because I know that for me personally, when I was going through this a couple of years ago, I was spending a lot of time sort of obsessing on having another kid, so much so that I was missing some of the joy of raising the kid that I had. So so I encourage you to do the same. Find gratitude, feel your present moment. And the last is to live your new reality. And this is kind of an ongoing thing. Just live in this new reality. What new things are you going to create with this new family dynamic that you had perhaps not anticipated? What might you do, with an only child that you wouldn't have been able to do with having multiple children, or one fewer children? For us, that's going to probably mean a lot more traveling. It's a little bit easier to travel with one child than it is with multiple. Economically, it's a little bit more financially feasible to travel and do things and give her some of the experiences that I might not have been able to do in other ways. And living that every day, that new thing that I'm creating, the child that we have, and kind of living in that new reality and coming up with new and exciting things that you want to do next in your life. I sincerely hope that this was helpful, and leave any comments and let me know what else you'd like to hear. Thanks so much.